So the last thing I quickly want to touch upon is another idea that Kjeld Kirk Christiansen introduces in the late 70s after introducing the minifigure. We, for the first time, start to differentiate our different products. So we differentiate, for example, our preschool products into, you know, the Duplo brand with the Duplo logo. And the Duplo bunny, I'm sure you know that. We have for older children, you know, also some Technic, and then we also have a lot of themes for the first time. You know, themes is something we take for granted today. You know, City, Ninjago, Friends, and so on, right? So for the first time, we introduce these fantastic themes that we're looking at right here. So the three first themes we introduce is space, it's castle. And then to the right, if you can see, we also have a little bit of town. And the idea behind these three themes for Kjeld was to introduce a theme linking to the past, castle, the present, town, and then the future, space. And that was the idea of that. And I will elaborate a little bit on these ideas in the next session that we will have in August. So for now, that was what I had time to talk about for this time period. So thank you so much for listening, and then I think we will be ready for some questions in a little while.
Yes, thank you, cool. Christian. Get water.
Some water. That is always nice to.
As Christian said, we want to answer some questions that were in the chat, and we have a question coming in here. First question is: are the Lego building figure and Lego minifigure the only two introduced in this time period? That's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. So we have other figures as well. So for example, we have Duplo figures introduced in the late 70s. We have a few of them down here. Maybe you can see them down there. So that's a figure that we so role play also is introduced to preschool children. And then actually we have another one. We also have and that's one of my favorites because it's such a strange figure. So when we decided, you know, we have the larger building figure made out of the Lego bricks, and then we decide we want a smaller figure that fits the size of the brick better. So we have a step on the way towards the minifigure, which we know today. We create another small figure that doesn't have any arms and can't move its legs either, but the size is roughly the same as the minifigure. It never gets a name. It's a figure we introduced in 1975. And in retrospectively, we've sort of called them, you know, the extra, because, you know, they are just sort of standing there. They can't really do anything. So they're quite cool, but of course we wanted our figure to be able to do a little bit more. So again, 3 years later, when we introduced the minifigure, suddenly we have moving arms and hands that can grab around stuff, and even movable legs as well. So that's but the extra is a funny little thing, and we don't have any down here in the exhibition, so I can't show you what they look like, but I'm sure some of you already know what they look like. They're quite nice, I think.
It's pretty cool because you know something about these, but you don't know all of it. So it's cool to have some historian that actually knows all the small nerdy details. All right, we have a next question coming up here.
Yeah.
How much time does it take to develop figures, both the building figures and minifigures? Yeah. Is the process behind them the same, and who invented them?
Yeah. Wow, that's very good question. I'm not sure I will be able to sort of answer all of it. Let's take a look at the building figures while we, or at least let's stand here in just to have a new setting, right? And while talking a little bit about them. So developing, you know, the figures. I'm actually not quite sure how long time it takes, but it does take quite a while for us to start. So if I remember correctly, I know I've seen some, some material with some tests, at least from, if not 72, then at least 73, so for a year or two before introducing the figure in 74, we will for sure, have started to look into creating a figure, and also, you could argue, that developing the minifigure was already started when we introduced the extra. When we decided we want this smaller figure, but we don't have the production know-how yet to make immovable arms and legs. So working on that figure, of course, it has also been going on for quite a while. But I can't put more detail on it than that. That's I think that's the best answer I can give you.
It's quite all right. I think we have enough information. That's
as good as it gets.
We learned something new.
Yeah.
So next question. This is the third question.
Yep.
A question for the Duplo bricks. Are they the only first color of bigger bricks available? I think they refer to the colors that you showed over here, maybe.
Yeah.
With the Duplo bricks.
With the Duplo bricks.
And I think they refer to the white, red, yellow.
Oh,
blue.
okay. So yeah. So if you can. The box we have at the bottom down here is actually it can be tricky to see it, but we have a small box down there, and that is one of the very first Duplo boxes that we introduced in 1969. So that is the color palette that our preschool bricks came in the beginning. So yeah, so we have the red, the white, the blue, and the yellow. And an interesting thing is, I don't know if you can see, but to the far right of that very tiny box of Duplo bricks, we actually have 8 Lego bricks, just to show that it is actually related to the Lego brick. Again, with the size, all dimensions is double the size of a Lego brick. So we wanted to show that, I guess, in the beginning in the packaging. So that is that's pretty cool. Yeah.
And they do fit as well in the system, I guess.
Actually, they do. At least you can build a Lego brick on top of a Duplo brick, right? That's also one of the reasons why that the knobs on top are actually hollow, because then they fit the tubes from the brick. So you can put a Lego brick on top of a Duplo brick. Yeah, that's cool. That is possible.
Thank you for that question.
Cool.
Now, next question.
Yeah.
And this is the easy one. What are the wooden bricks in the other display case? And I guess that's just the next to one right here.
Yeah.
See if I can get a close up here.
Yeah, I think so. So this is these are prototypes. Made when we work on creating this larger brick for preschool children. We have these different prototypes that we work on. So I think that's. If I remember correctly, that is the way you sort of do it when you are working on a new brick, a new element. You will start out with a large scale version of some kind to be able to see all the details, and then when you think you are good to go, you will sort of start to scale it down to the size that you are intention that you want to have eventually. So these are prototypes of these preschool bricks that eventually turns out to be the Duplo brick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. See, I think we have another question coming in, which is adjusting the camera here.
Yeah.
Now, next question. How much did it cost to enter Legoland in 1968? Was it affordable? So that's a good question.
That is a very good question. And it's very good question. And you know what? It's a question I would love to know the answer of, but I absolutely have no idea. I would need to dig in our archives and see if we can find, some prices from back then. But I'm not sure we have any.
No?
That's the thing with history, that we only know as much as we have, in our archives material. So I've never stumbled upon that. But now I will start to look for it, because I would love to know that answer. Yeah.
That's great about these sessions, that there's so many questions that you don't think about, but now you have them yourself.
Exactly.
So, we have a question more. So our next question, that's a good one. How did Downey become and get chosen as a master builder, and how many people were in the master builders original team?
Yeah. So eventually, I think there's a little bit of, coincidence involved as well. So again, Downey is a cousin to Godfred, so of course there's a link there. Godfred knows Downey knows Godfred, and they sort of know each other and know what Godfred knows what Downey is capable of doing.
Sure.
That she has this artistic side to her, but again, she lived in Copenhagen for many years with her husband, who was also an artist, a sculpture of some kind. But then what happens is that he dies. And so Downey is suddenly left alone, and that's when she wants to go, back to her roots, I guess, back to where she comes from. So she moves back to Jutland and back to Billund, and I guess that's when the sort of connection with Godfred is there, and I guess. And now I am guessing, that they talk about, but Downey, come and work for me, and let's see what we can find for you. And then again, she has this artistic side, and then she starts to try and work and design and build something with these bricks that, she's actually on record for saying that back when she was, back in the old days, when she was a child and so on, she didn't really see the lights in the Lego bricks. You found them again a little bit sort of square, and don't know what to do with these. And she didn't really started really building. And then she really caught up on that after being introduced again in the 60s, and suddenly she realizes that you can do so much with these fantastic bricks. So slowly she becomes this master model builder, and she gets her own team. And that was part of the question. Sorry, long answer here.
Yeah.
That we have. I remember seeing some photos of Downey and her team, and I'm thinking that there might be around like 15 people on that photo, if I remember correctly. So I guess that would have been sort of the size of the department back then, the master builder department, making models for the Legoland Park and so on. Yeah. So I think that's that's. I hope you are satisfied with that answer out there. That's what I know.
I'm sure they are.
About Downey. Yeah.
I mean, 15 people. 15 or 50?
15.
15.
Yeah,
that's quite a small team compared to today.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Next question actually concerns a picture right here. You talked about Vaughn.
Yeah.
And the next question is, why was Vaughn chosen to be the internal CEO? Has he been working in the company already?
Oh yeah. So Vaughn was already in the company when he took over as CEO in. Closer look here. So Vaughn took over again in 1973, but he entered the company in 2 years earlier in 1971. He came from sort of a consultant agency of some sorts before that, and then he got a job in the Lego Group in management of some sorts. I don't know too much about that. And then again in 1973 he is the one acting as a link, and I guess that's because he earned it. He showed that he know what he's talking about. So but he was not coming directly from the outside. He had been within the company for a couple of years when taking over as CEO. Yeah.
Okay.
Just briefly, also, I can talk a little bit about what happens afterwards, because when Kjeld takes over from Vagn in 1979, so Vagn leaves the company. He becomes the CEO of another Danish company called Irma, grocery stores of some sorts, and then later on, when Godfred, because Godfred, when he retired as a CEO, he became the chairman of the board of directors in the company. And when he retires from that position in, I can't remember, it's in the 90, 91, 92-ish, maybe 93, something like that. He retires, and then Vagn is actually coming in and becoming the chairman of the board for some years. So he comes back again after leaving the company. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A little bonus info.
Yeah. That's what that's what we're here for, right?
Cool.